Well, good morning. I'm happy I don't have to work today. It's raining, so I'm waiting for deliveries. Can't believe Walmart's open. That's getting three delivery offers, and threefers, I'll call them, for $16. I ain't doing that, especially when I haven't had my coffee yet. They no longer tip. Well, I got a $2 tip. But, when it comes to people that don't have the money, hey, I appreciate that. They no longer tip. I remember the good old days 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. And I think it's still on my channel. Yeah, I was showing my earnings. I was making bank. I'm going to have to review those videos. Because I think I came close to $3,000 in a week that week. Those were the days. I was showing them too, right? I'd be getting like those $80 deliveries. Those were crazy. And it lasted like, I think, a week and a half to 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden, like a light bulb, it went to crap. Just like a light switch. That's the thing about the business. You'll be really well, and then all of a sudden, like a light switch, it just goes off. And yeah, I remember doing the trick of driving longer to get to the address, and that worked. And then they cracked down on that. They didn't like tell me that I'm in trouble or nothing, but what they started doing was they started paying you based on the route that they chose. So when I would take the longer route, they didn't change the mileage. So you can't get one over on the techies, that's for sure. So, yeah, the post office is doing well. Things are going okay. Yeah, one of my supervisors, I don't work for him, but he's like, it's basically how you do it. You can resign and reapply, and that is the way you do it. Like, if anybody's watching here who's a CCA, who's a probationary, and if you're concerned about getting fired, or like if you get into an accident, resign right away. The supervisor told me that he thinks, because I think I said this, I got caught without dog spray. And I got a warning. By default, it's 2 years. And they talked it down to 5 months for frickin' dog spray. It's petty. Yeah, it's fucking petty. And I have a problem with pettiness. I really do. It's really hard for me to handle petty shit, So, and I told him, I'm like, well, geez, if I were to do that, I think my warning would get in the way of me getting rehired. And he said, no, I think that goes away. It gets washed off when you resign, because he told me verbatim, I won't say who, that when people get into an accident, we tell them to resign. And then they get rehired somewhere. Yeah, because they're pretty strict about accidents. So, I believe them. But, Irvine's a good office, and I know the roots, and having to relearn roots again for a third time. Plus, I did get an offer from Long Beach, but you never know. They might not place me in Long Beach. You know what I mean? You're taking a gamble. I'm driving 45 minutes to work, to an hour, and it would be probably that and longer being in LA County. Long Beach is huge. So I would think that if they're saying Long Beach, that I'd be in Long Beach, but you never know. I could be spending 2 hours a day in the car one way, one direction again. It's like, so I gotta think about that through, especially when it comes to seniority. I'm sorry, buddy. I ain't gonna take that. Freaking, why take that? Yeah, just for $3. You gotta give more than that. I mean, it's only a mile, but it's a pain in the ass, man. I'm in the middle of making. That's a thing too when it comes to the e-gig thing. When they're feeding you orders, I don't want to go down there. That's just, there's no parking down there. It's not worth it, man. You're blocking a street down there. I can't get into an accident. I can't be like with my flashers on and have somebody hit my car. I'm not doing it. I just want to be kind of lazy and make some money going to a house. That's what I like about delivering in Irvine. It's just a residential house, dude. You're going right up the street. And then they often raise the tips on me, like I've shown, right? I'm sorry, dude. I'm not taking that one either. That one was kind of worth it. But it's a long ways. I mean, McDonald's is quite far. It's all the way down the road. It's going to be cold by the time I get there. Like I said, when it comes to when you get constant fares and you're in the grind, you're good. But when you're waiting, it kind of takes away your... Then all of a sudden you're not accepting shit, because it's psychological somehow. It's like, yeah, I'm just not taking it. But once you're in the groove and you're taking orders and you're making that money, you're taking everything, kind of. There's a psychology there, for sure. And Uber should be aware of that and then not have somebody wait. No, thank you. Geez, at first I was going to take it. Sometimes there's an instinct to see the dollar amount and be like, yeah, click. And then you're like, oh, crap. See, I noticed. I'm like, oh, crap, 12 miles. Frick, going all the way up there. Yeah, that's what happened with that order that I accepted from the Habit Burger all the way up to Carson. I thought it was just, that was stupid. Definitely look at the distance. Don't just see the dollar amount and then just click. Look at it first. Oh, California rain. I got lucky yesterday. Yesterday I did a route that I never did. It turned out to be a good route though. It wasn't bad. But also I did a swing or a piece, an extra, which was in these luxury apartment buildings. These are townhomes, I guess. They look like apartment buildings. They're kind of operated that way, but I guess they own the place. And I guess people that own these places rent them out as apartments. So technically they are that. And you got one person that owns 3 of them. People here have money. So sometimes when it's really raining and you have a section that's indoors, you can choose to work indoors when it's raining, and that's what I did. And then when I was done with that, the rain did lighten up, and so that is one good thing. Some supervisors, I know my last supervisors, they were really strict about delivery order. One time there was going to be a friggin' lightning storm prediction, and it did happen. And it was like predicted around 11:30. And I'm like, darn. You had this big apartment complex with a huge cluster box, gang box, aluminum freaking structure. And I'm like, man, I don't want to get struck by lightning touching that stuff. And so what I did was I went immediately there and did that first. And then continued on. And I'm like, yeah, buddy. When the lightning happens, I'm not going to be touching no metal boxes. And the supervisors called me up. And like, hey, man, it looks like you missed a lot of packages. What's going on? And I told them, oh, yeah, I took care of that first. And they're like, well, you can't do that. And I'm like, well, safety. You know, you're in a wide open area and the lightning's pretty bad here. Figure I'd just knock that out first, you know. So some, they're watching rims, what they call rims. I don't know what it stands for, but it tells you where you are. I think the trucks have GPS too, a sensor. I could be mistaken, but I think so. Definitely, obviously, the scanner does. But this office that I'm at, you know, I beat the UPS guys to the apartment complex because they will fill up the digital lockers. So I make sure I beat feet right there first thing. And therefore, I can deliver all the packages. And that's not in the route order. I'm supposed to do the walk-in first. And they know I'm doing that, and they're not sweating me about it. So I do appreciate that about this office, how, you know, I'm kind of doing it out of order like that, and they're not beefing with me over it, which is cool. Not every supervisor or every office is going to allow you to do that. There's a crazy amount of packages. So what I'll do when I'm early, I have to split the route 4 ways. And there's a lot of packages. And they don't count the route for you to split it. They'll give you the X amount of time they think it takes, but it takes longer. No, jeez. Airport Way, that's just, yeah, that's the friggin' hotel. Yeah. So when you split it 4 ways, it takes extra time. With all those packages, having to separate them all, it takes extra time. And the headquarters people were there. They didn't talk to me. I was expecting them to, and they didn't. So definitely in my last office, they didn't let me touch anything before the clock started. Here I can, they will, if I touch the mail. Okay, I don't touch the mail. But when I'm moving packages around, they're not saying nothing to me. So, but one lady, she's not a supervisor, comes up to me, you know, and I think she's gonna make a beef about it. So I might be being told not to pretty soon. Whatever, dude. You know what I mean? If you're not the supervisor and whatever, you know, mind your business, man. You know what I mean? Mind your business. You know what the fuck? Man, people just can't, you know, mind their business. I get out of the office in a good amount of time because of it. I boost my productivity. So I understand they're like, well, you're working for free. But it boosts my productivity, which justifies them giving me more hours. So in the long run, I get more hours because I'm getting more done. And I'm getting more done because I'm setting myself up good. So that like extra hour, 45 minutes that I'm going to be there anyways of me setting myself up gets things done smoother. Gets me out of the office quicker, which then is the reason they allow me to have more hours, you know. So you got to think it through, not just the quick assumption of like, well, geez, you're working for free. Yeah, that's my beef with the union. It's like, You should support the worker in what they want to do versus try to get the worker in trouble because he's doing X. It's a hypocritical situation, in my opinion. The union's pretty much for the regular, anyways. But yeah, as being a union, you should support your worker instead of trying to get him in trouble because he's touching packages before the clock. You know, that's just my opinion. Shoot, I don't have my watch on. So yeah, it's going all right though. I'm learning the area pretty well. The deliveries were slow after work. Not getting the same amount of requests that I was getting. That's another thing that I used to talk about, is how it seems like when you have a down period and you come back, Uber gives you more requests. Man, I'm not taking anything, but I'll take the next one. Sometimes I just take the request that I know it's easy to pick up from, you know. That one's on a corner, and it's going to be jammed. There's not going to be any parking. You know, just whatever. What a crazy bunch of events in the media, right? Seems freaking Puffy Combs. It's kind of the Weinstein of the hip-hop industry, right? However, I mean, I don't doubt that he's guilty. I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, Jesus, you know, I definitely don't respect him anymore. Not that, you know, my opinion matters, which is good. But, yeah. But it highlights an issue when it comes to contaminating the jury pool. I think that's what they do. Is they'll leak a news story, get everybody thinking about it, and then they charge them. So pretty much people have made up their mind if you're guilty or not. And yeah, it's a tactic. I don't think I'm wrong about that. It's when you think about it logically, about innocent till proven guilty. You know what I mean? We gotta be careful, I guess, about that when it comes to how the system plays people, I guess. And, yeah, when people get power, I guess. Because at first, you know, I saw some shorts. You know, I watched the shorts and just scroll through the shorts, and I was hearing people talking about, oh, Puff Daddy's having sex with dudes. And at first I'm like, well, geez, that's kind of hypocritical. You know, we're so woke today, and they're all hating on him. And then later on, when I find out that these people are like 14 years old, then all of a sudden, okay, yeah, that's wrong. You know what I mean? Jesus. Yeah. I'm not sure about the connections. I guess the person that killed Tupac admitted to doing so. I don't know, man. Power, I guess. You know, when you look at some pictures of Sean Puffy Combs, though, man, that guy looks like an alien, man. His face looks... He has like a wider face on top, and then it gets really freaking skinny down here. It's like he's an alien of some sort, you know? But, I don't know, man. It's crazy. when you're rich and you're powerful, I guess if you have bad drives within you, then I guess it's really hard to not engage in your bad drives, I guess, right? So I guess you can tell if someone's a good person or not. Give them power and see what they do, right? I mean, that's pretty much when you have that kind of money. Yeah, people. And you can see where the theories start to get spread, because they're talking about Jay-Z unaliving his girlfriend, Beyonce, and then you can start to like really go down the rabbit hole of like all this stuff. I don't know who she is, but there was this one woman talking about how all these people have died that have a connection to Puffy. I'm like, holy crap, man. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I mean, all those people that are, but still, it doesn't necessarily mean anything though, right? I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, don't go to parties. Don't engage in bad behavior. Because it's kind of like, yeah, I guess Weinstein, Epstein, and Buffy, yeah, they film you and they have you blackmailed, and now you're part of the crime, and I guess that's keeps them clean for a while, I guess, per se. But I think nowadays, though, it'd be easier to self-produce, I think. I don't think it's so damaging if someone doesn't support you. Kind of like Weinstein and Puff Daddy, I guess both are key figures that can, I guess, block your success in the industry, right? Which gives them that power to be able to do the evil crap that they do, basically engaging in pedophilia, upcoming wannabe rappers that want to make it in the industry, and here you are having the ability to make it happen for them, so they're going to your parties. And yeah, but nowadays with YouTube, I think you could really, through YouTube, if you are really genuinely good, you could have a YouTube channel and find a way to protect your music and do it yourself. I think you can. And then get a Spotify account. That's so I don't know why you really need a label anymore. You could really just create your own, right? I mean, then as you get a following, you can book events, right? I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the industry, but I think that obviously my goal 4 years ago was to get 1,000 subs, and I haven't got it. So obviously, my experience doesn't really reflect what I'm saying, but logically, it makes sense. If you get a good following and you're really good with YouTube, people listen to you and they like what you have to say, and then I think you could become self-made, and then book events, and then be able to really I guess, because that's what I've heard, is I guess the record industry now is basically treating your concerts like they do with the records. That basically they keep almost everything. So, yeah, why would you want to sign a contract, right? I mean, if you're going to do shows and almost everything, and then what they're doing is they're upfronting money and loaning it to you. I mean, I don't know. And that way, going through YouTube, then it would be more of a natural selection, per se, where you could see people get good, and people that are good versus people that are, I guess, industry plants. Basically, people that are good because the industry likes them and they're being marketed. YouTube created stars in that perspective would wash that away, because if they ain't good, then they're just not going to get any subs and they won't make it. They don't have an industry that's going to make them make it like that, right? So it would be more of a, the good people would survive. So, kind of like when they worry about all the restaurants. Well, if you got 1 million of them, not everybody has the money to go out to eat like that. I mean, the good ones are going to survive. You don't need that many restaurants. You got to think about that. I mean, you want a free market, but it's like, hey, I'm not against like free weed either, but it's like, damn, you don't need a freaking dispensary on every corner of every block. It's like, dude, it's like the dispensaries are like Dunkin' Donuts, man. Like every freaking corner of every block, there's a dispensary. Give me a break. Oh, man, that's all we need is another dispensary. We already got like 100 here. I mean, come on, man. Like I've seen in towns that I've lived in where they revolving businesses, and they keep on allowing businesses that will continue to flop. So, I don't know. So, there's money to be made. If you make it, I still believe that. If you're hardworking, you can make the money. I think that's true. I agree. I think it's easy for people to not believe that. All my merchants. You know, I like the merchants that I have experience with that are quick. I definitely think about that when I'm accepting orders. Quick, easy deliveries make for more efficient times making money. So, I don't know, man. I still want to make money as an entrepreneur. Being a W-2. I mean, I like the job I'm doing, obviously, because I'm a person that moves from job to job a lot. But, yeah, I like not being tied down. I don't know. I'm still thinking about my comedy. Thinking about jokes. I'm not going to do the jokes here. I got to write down the jokes, because I realize that as I leave one alone and I'm rethinking about it, I kind of lose it a little bit. You know what I mean? So if you write them down, I think it's better. So, alrighty. Well, I do appreciate the new subs. I've seen them up to 108 now. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for the comments. Yeah, definitely. I've seen a comment asking about time. Yeah, definitely when it comes to making the money, thinking about how efficient the restaurant is. How quick and easy is it to pick up from the restaurant is key too. Because you don't want to be waiting too long. But you, at the same time though, you don't want to have a restaurant that's so quick that your food is cold by the time you get there. You got to think about that, how like efficient the place is. And then, yeah, your mileage to the dollar. And where you're dropping it off as well. And it's trickier to do that when it's a quieter, like, yeah, you're right, it's saturated. And so it's not like you have a lot to choose from. That's the problem, like here. You know, when you're in a situation where you get a lot of requests, then that's awesome. Because then you can choose, right? You're choosing more. Here, you're like sitting around for a while. And there's nothing. Because it's saturated. You got a million drivers. Which, yeah, renting a car, the way, I mean, yeah. If I rented a car, I'd be doing UberX for sure. To supplement, for sure. I mean, definitely I agree. I believe that delivery's better, but the way that deliveries have died off, if you rented and you had to pay like $200 a week for the car, you have to do UberX, I think. Doing the airport trips and those trips, definitely looking at the distance, mile to the dollar, direction of where you're going, definitely to make money. But if you're not doing this full time, renting the car is just a loss. However, it's deductible. But you don't want to treat your deductible as income though, right? Because then you're like treating like that deductible as if you're getting paid. But I guess at the end, if you're getting the refund, then I guess you're going to get the money back. So in that regard, if you're renting, you could deduct that $200 a week. If it's $200. I imagine it's probably $200 or so. So that would be $800 right off the top that you can deduct. That wouldn't be bad. That's $8,000. That's $9,600 a year to deduct. That wouldn't be bad. So then you can kind of treat that car as like your personal car, not affect your personal car. That definitely is an idea. Especially if you have the insurance that's included into the car. It might be something to think about, thinking about it that way. Then I guess you could do that. To get a car, I guess. But so yeah, looking at the dollar amount, the distance, knowing the restaurant, how efficient they are. A lot of these ramen places, man. A lot of people that are well-to-do in Irvine love their ramen, and it's a quick, easy pickup, and then they raise the tip. Like, you know what I mean? That's what made those so good. Is I didn't wait at all. It was still hot when I got there, and then delivering right to a house, getting a raised tip. That's what I'm looking for. Those deliveries. I did a delivery at like Long Beach Boulevard. I'm blocking a heavy road of traffic. It's an apartment complex. I don't want to do those type deliveries. So I'm going to get a ticket. You know, you could get into an accident. It's just not worth it, you know. And people that text you right away when you pick up an order, those are bad. Um, that thumbs down probably didn't happen from them. I think they tipped me, actually. But I had one delivery where I was getting a text and I was right there and already receiving texts. Because obviously that order was a cheap order and they're waiting for their food. And so, you're gonna, you know what I mean? You're not having a good experience with that customer when they're doing that, like right off the bat. Maybe canceling their order is a smart thing to do in that perspective. Seems to be clearing off. So, I don't know. I hope everybody has a good Easter and have a great day. Thank you.